Have you seen the show Skam? If not, you may have heard endless raves about it. Not the type where you dance, the type where people keep talking about it. I didn't hear a lot, to be honest. I just heard people saying the name over and over. And no, they weren't accusing me like a weird Canadian court. That's a whole other story for another time. I'm here to talk about Skam. Skam's a Norwegian show. It's Norwegian for shame. And no, it's not a prequel to Shameless. People describe it as a Norwegian Skins, and that's pretty good shorthand, even though it's pretty different too. I mean, it is about youths hanging out, doing youthful things. They shift the perspective every season. There's been 3 seasons so far, and each one from a different character's point of view in the same type of circle in the same school. I could tell you details about the plot, but I'd rather talk about why this show feels special to me. And I'm not gonna say stuff like, oh, Noora's lips, or oh, Isak's lips. There's a whole Tumblr for that, you know? Just go nuts. Someone did describe this as Tumblr come to life as a show, which sounds like it's terrible, but it's not. It's actually a really solid teen show, which again, teen show sounds like it's Hunger Games or something. It's not. There's no supernatural elements. They're just hanging out. Everyone's just hanging out and doing teenager stuff. And the thing is, that's rare. At least done well. There's a lot of shows about that, and they're all terrible. They all suck. This one doesn't. That's like the main thing in my list of things why it's a great show. Another good aspect is the realism. This show has a level of realism and recognizability that is just crazy compared to your average show for teens trademark. It's got kids hanging out in high school equivalent, and they're just being funny or being mean and dramatic, and it's all believable and it's all enjoyable. Now I'll say I wasn't completely sold after just 1 or 2 episodes. The first season centers on Eva, who is in a seemingly terrible relationship, and there's this sense from the start, at least there was for me, that it's a tragedy. It feels like a tragedy. It's gonna go bad, and she's probably gonna be the reason it goes bad. And I'm not gonna comment on whether that's true or false because this is a spoiler-free review. But yeah, you can imagine. It was a little hard for me to binge watch through because of the awkwardness. It felt so incredibly real that it just made me uncomfortable. It's one of those shows that's on that level of like, oh, it's so good that I don't want to watch it. I think I'm the only one with that experience though. Everyone explains it as they watched, 3 seasons in 2 days while they were supposed to be studying. And I'm like, I'm an adult. I don't study. I just waste my life. There's great characters in this show. Apart from being believable as a show in general, as a world, the characters are so believable and relatable. Why is it so rare to do a good teen show? I can't explain it, but it is. You always feel like you can see the hand of the screenwriter depicting the youth and putting words in the mouths of the youth. Maybe it's helped by being Norwegian. Sometimes you can't tell how good acting is if it's not in your own language, but I do assume it's great. Because look at them. Look at their faces. They're so expressive. They're so good. They're all really good. And I don't know if I should credit the directors, the show creators, but I'm sure a lot of it should go to the actors who do a fantastic job. All the reasons I love this show are the most basic things, like great characters and good writing. Why is that so rare? Why am I... Oh yeah, Riverdale. I hate to judge it too soon. Well, not really, but the US remake of Skam, I mean, that's the reason it probably won't work, because they're gonna look at the superficial stuff like the distribution method and, I don't know, the music, and they're gonna say, oh, that's why it's setting, that's why it's speaking to the teens, and they're gonna mess it up. The distribution method, by the way, is that when they're in the season, they release clips throughout the weeks in real time, like at the times that the things are taking place, and then they stitch them together into a full episode. I, like 90% of Skam viewers, have not had this experience yet, but there's a 4th season coming soon. This show reminds me a lot of SPUNG, which is a slightly less sexy name. That's the Swedish show that came out in like 2002. Not to say that we Swedes did everything 15 years before you, Norway, but it was one of the first shows to do things with social media before social media was even a thing. Like the characters had blogs. I know you're doing that now, NRK. Where were you 15 years ago? Actually, you should check out SPUNG if you like Skam. It's not just because they sound similar, they are pretty similar. Although I'll say SPUNG is a bit harder to digest. They're a bit too punk rock sometimes. They really are like influenced by French films like lighting, we shall make art. It's pretty good. You can find it on Öppet Arkiv, which is only available in Sweden. Sorry about that. All the reasons that Skam are good also exist in SPUNG. I'm just saying, no, it's not as sexy, okay? It's not. You Norwegian bastards, can't you let us have anything? We gave you your independence. We gave you 17 Mai. We gave you the oil. We gave you the most adorable Scandinavian accent by a margin. So if you haven't watched Skam, please do watch it. I'm sorry not to go more in depth, but I'm gonna go watch season 2 like right now. If you have watched more of Skam, or just any of it, I want to know, were you sold immediately? For me, as I said, it took kind of 2 episodes before I was in it. When were you in it? Were you in it immediately? Was it the gift set you saw that before you even watched the show that got you into it? Was it the cute boys? I don't blame you. Let me know in the comments. And yes, we are also covering Riverdale. So please check that out. Slightly different conversation over on those videos. We're also coming at you with all sorts of other show discussions here at Shows What You Know. I hope you enjoy, and subscribe maybe, and watch all our shit maybe. Would it be better if we did a distribution where we're like, oh my God, what if I looked at my clock now and it was whatever time it is when I put it out? Is that gonna help? Am I thinking American now? Am I doing an adaptation? Can we put the day up here? Brilliant. All right, we're gonna make a milli.